Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. This is Gameweek 29 fixture preview. My name is Hafiz and would like to welcome my co-host, definitely Azmin, to the stream. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. A bit disappointed from what happened this morning, unfortunately. And more importantly, the couple of injuries, which is to Trent and Konate. But hopefully, Konate looks like it's just, from what I've heard, it's just too tired or cramps. Nothing serious. But for Trent, we're still waiting on it. It could be might keep him out for a few games. So yeah, so hoping but the most frustrating thing, he'll be out for the Carabao Cup final. It looks like that's a confirmation there.
Okay, all right. That's pretty much latest news from the Liverpool campaign. Since you touched on that topic, Liverpool out from the Championship through the penalty kickoff. I think to balance out the match with PSG prior to that in Paris, now in Anfield. But overall, how's your feeling? You tried your best, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of theories going out there how Liverpool shouldn't have gone too much for the Southampton match and give it a bit more of a break, and people like Salah played 90 minutes in that match, and so the argument they should not have, Slot shouldn't have done that, especially because the following night PSG rested almost the entire squad and rotated almost 90% or something like that. So, but you can't fault that. At the end of the day, we got to this point, which is already quite an achievement as it is, considering it's Slot's first season. Obviously, because we were doing so well, so there are a lot of expectations. We just got higher and higher as the season came along. But I think Liverpool will just have to move on and look forward to winning the cup, Carabao Cup, this weekend, and wrapping up, hopefully getting the league wrapped earlier as well.
Yeah. On the positive side, I think you should look at now. You can really focus on league. Yes, it is a big gap now, but you just want to make sure you finish the job and get that league title.
Yeah.
And but in terms of IPL, I'm not sure how we're going to pursue in terms of the Liverpool players. Maybe we can touch on that. But I think, mate, let's focus. This is the game that people are planning to, especially this is what we call the blank game week 29 of which there will only be 8 fixtures we play. I think we touch on that in detail. So what we're going to discuss, team to target for this week, look at the players, and then we look at some, I think, a free hit draft from Gianni Buttice, because he'll definitely free hitting this week, which take a look whether we can take 1 or 2 points from what he's thinking and make a transfer plan for our team, right? Okay,
Yeah.
but before that, maybe just take a look quickly on how we done in game week 28, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty average. The average point was 52 points. I scored 59. You scored 51. But the most ballsy things that you have done, which is you captain Palmer and I captain Salah, but it's not that big gap because you have some players who scoring points. Can you just talk to about your team?
Yep. So Cells was I did some fiddling last minute, and somehow Cells ended up in my first 11 instead of Flecken, because I posted on Twitter my final team had Flecken in it instead. But I'm not sure what I was doing and ended up with Cells. So it turned out well. It was the first match, so I was already thinking like, oh man, then but somehow they managed to get a CS, and it got to a point I was hoping for a 0-0 because I also had Gvardiol, and at that point Gvardiol had bonus points, had like two bonus points, and Cells didn't have any. And then suddenly, uh as soon as City lost the clean sheet, of course, Guardiola lost the bonus points, but then Cell suddenly got 2 bonus points. So yeah, in the end, that worked out well. Unfortunately, Guardiola blanked. Gabriel and TA blanked, so nothing else from the defense. No production from the defense. Chelsea, yeah. So I captained Palmer, as you know, and Neto had a quiet game, really poor game from what I saw. And credit to Leicester for holding out as long as they did, but unfortunately they got undone. Anyway, so well done, Hafiz, to your team. It was, but let's face it, it was nowhere the match that we were hoping would be. With a lot of goals. The people who had brought in Neto or even Nkunku. Yeah, but the best one that came out for the few of you who transferred in Cucurella the week before. So that's a massive, like, what was it, 20 points, 30 points in total? So, which is, 15 points in the game week 28 and 27 and 15 points in game week 29.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a goal, clean sheet, and it's clean sheet points, the appearance points and the bonus points. So that's well done to those who did. So other than that, I had Clivert, who made off with an assist. He's turning out to be the right pick amongst the Bournemouth midfielders. Nothing spectacular, but coming in the points. Soboslai, unfortunately, finally he blanked, and he was substituted at halftime, presumably also maybe for Southampton. And to be honest, I wasn't even sure whether he was gonna even play. And on hindsight, maybe he shouldn't have played at all. So,
but if he should have played, then Robinson will come in for 0 pointer, so you don't want that.
Yeah, no, but it's more about Liverpool's Champions League thing rather. Also giving Silverslide the rest. So Salah, of course, 15 points. So well done. 2 penalties. I think what annoys me is the narrative about how lucky Liverpool can get. It's you make your own luck. Those penalties aren't just Liverpool are a threat, not just Liverpool, but other teams who get penalties because they are a huge threat in the box. And that's why they're wrapping up, getting the penalties. And because the oppositions are forced to do something and then they do a mistime and that's it. If you take, for example, Wolves, they hardly get any penalties. And why? Because they don't have people running into the box. That's a threat. So, it's not so much a luck. So I discount that, So credit to Salah. And those were 2 really well taken penalties as well. That was quite amazing to see, and also did a good penalty in the CL as well. So Pedro, coming good again, and I'm glad. Obviously I've been annoyed for him for so long, and then but I was not able to sell him simply because I had other issues, and it's turned out well in the end. So another penalty towards the end of the game. Isaac blank, but no biggie because most of us had Isaac anyway. So on the bench, no serious changes. Things. Ait Nouri, who I expected Wolves to concede, he did concede because I think a lot of teams had transferred him in this week or the week before, and expecting to get something, but maybe they also preparing for game week 29. I was so not confident because it was Everton have not. Ever since Moyes came in, Everton have never not scored a goal. So I was expecting the same as well. And the thing with Ait Nouri, in terms of one thing I've noticed is that under Pereira, he's not as attacking. So the attacking points generation is not so great under Pereira compared to under who's that guy?
Carry on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So all in all, 51 points. Drop from 36k to 49k. So my gamble didn't pay off. I still got Salah's points, but I didn't get double of it. So I'm surprised that I didn't drop that badly. So I'm quite happy actually. So despite dropping, so just need to learn that lesson. I posted in Blue Sky saying that with all my heart, I truly believe Salah's not the right captain for this week. So the lesson that I've now learned is when it comes to FPL, you need to use your head, not your heart. So there you go. That's it.
All right. But if let's say Palmer scored that penalty, and then after that maybe he's getting that bonus point, so on, maybe slightly will lessen the damage in terms of comparing Salah and Palmer. But when he missed that penalty, is just the narrative, right? Because I think Palmer has not been returning, only one return in 7, I think, and the form is not there coming to this game despite they playing Leicester. But there's some other media who take the gamble like you did. I think some other media, I realize, is it
Gian
yeah.
Gian Batra, I think
Yeah,
we Captain Palmer.
so okay, I guess if let's say you took that road, you could have get the rewards, but it's not for this week. But I can show you, man, a little bit touch on thing. People will not captain Salah this week because Liverpool will blank this game week. So touch bit on my team. Okay, touch bit on my team. Basically my team be identical to you. I think 1 or 2 players that different from your team is I have Kirkus over TA. Kirkus producing another assist, but no clean sheet against Spurs this last weekend. But at least the form getting that assist is important, and I know at least I'm more prepared in terms of Bournemouth player this week. I could easily go went with the other Bournemouth player like Utara, Semenyo and so on, but I do believe Clive is the one that you should get despite his price a bit higher than the rest of the other Bournemouth player. Is now risen to 6.8 if I'm right. I got him at 6, and Azmin could actually got you a bit lower than 6, right? So if you got him at 5.5 and so on, definitely you'll be happy on that. And I believe he could be one of the players that you should get this week. Mbomo blank, frustrating, but it is what it is. I said blank. We did discuss offline, man. If I make that move, I expect to Watkins in game week 25. I'm supposed when we knew that Villa will double, but I chicken out. And if let's say I did that, I could easily got 7 points more, and Watkins could easily got more than 9 points this weekend because the goal from Rodgers, which is frustratingly rule offside by VAR just by I don't know, man, like this inch,
few millimeters.
And then I do not get that Rodgers points. But most importantly, if let's say your own Watkins, you miss a double-digit points for Watkins last week. So the one, if let's say you have the likes of Pedro, you have Watkins, another player that most people might not have is Bruno Fernandes, who want to watch this week, especially on getting the player in or on your free hit for this game week 29. Other than that, can I say back-to-back 0-pointer from Robinson? A bit angry in terms of how Robinson produced last time around. He substituted in a second half, got yellow card. At this time around, same situation. Fulham's conceded 2 goals, right? And yellow carded. So then if I need you, definitely I will transfer it out, but we need to focus for game week 20 because we have some scarce player in terms of what should we do. We want to field 11 players at least this week, if you can. If not, at least 8, 9, 10 players, depending on how your team would be. I think that's what we're going to touch. All right. Yes, man. Anything else?
Yeah. So just checking out your team. The Rodgers thing, I think as a Rodgers owner, a lot of Rodgers owners have been pretty frustrated in the past few weeks. Yeah, because of goals getting disallowed was not the first time. But yeah, I mean, let's see it all pan out later on. And of course this week they do not play. Villa don't play. So now we got to focus on those who are playing. And then we have quite a few similar players like Kluivert, Palmer, but and Cells, but that's about it, I think. So this week could be quite a bit of variety, and of course, let's not forget, if you're not some of us who are free hitting, so that should be interesting to see as well what happens there.
And also interestingly, we will definitely touch on the captaincy because without Salah, people are looking at Highland. Could he be the one, or there is other potential captaincy? That I think we can see that variable also this weekend. All right, let's go to the next topic of fish before we deep dive into the game week 29. Just want to give a moment of appreciation to Mo Salah finally breaks the FPL points record, which owned by him in summer 2017-18, 303 points. And after that game week 28, he scored 306 points more with, is it like 10 matches left in the season, and projected to score to 400 points ever in terms of points. So Mo Salah is the all-time FPL most scored player in terms of points. I just want to touch a bit on stats for this season, mate. I just read out which I can see from the Fantasy World Cup. He has reached 303 points in 34 starts. To run out as a substitute, he smashed a record in 7 fewer appearances for this time around. Remarkably, he has produced 17 double-digit hauls and 51 bonus points from 44 combination attacking returns, and he only blanked from 28 matches, only 4 occasions. Wow, pretty much is unstoppable this season, and he's definitely the one that destroyed my season, because I do not have him for some of the first period of the season, and we definitely want to hear in terms of the King Mo Salah, right?
Yeah, I mean, now he's, if you see in that top 10, he occupies 3 spots, which is quite an incredible feat. And the sharing the likes of Lampard, Ronaldo. Lampard appears twice, by the way, so that's a good achievement. But Suarez is a Liverpool player, also playing at the 3rd spot. I guess the thing is, what makes this season incredible is the fact that we still have 10 more game weeks to go. and now they're not in the CL anymore, so he can just have fun.
Expect to play every single game after this, right, man?
I think so. Yeah. No, there's no reason not to expect him to disappear or get rested unnecessarily. So, yeah, that's how it's looking at the moment, and and you got to give credit to how that he obviously takes care of his health. In terms of his recovery, because there are a lot of things we don't see for footballers, but I think all professional footballers will know that, or those who are in the industry will know, you finish the match just doesn't just end like that. There are things that you do after the match to ensure your body will have the most recovery time. And I mean, the one person who I remember who I really respected in terms of that, taking care of himself, is Cristiano Ronaldo. He was very, everything in terms of his diet, in terms of what he does, he really, really takes care of himself, so he'll be fit for most of the matches. And I think Salah has that same level of discipline, so credit to them. And that's what you need. You need discipline, not just in football, but in any career. And obviously for that, the physical is very important. If you don't maintain your discipline, your physical goes bust, and that's it. So yeah, well done. And let's see how far he can go. He could go.
One most important thing that people mentioned after this, because Liverpool are not going to have any double game week fixture, and potentially after the international break, you might not want Mo Salah anymore and go for the Man City players. I reserve my thoughts on that, whether I will be following that path. But with this kind of form, I'm not sure I can go without Salah for the remaining of the season. I'm not too sure. What do you think?
I mean, you don't want to captain him, fine, but to not have him in the squad at all feels like it's really dangerous, And to this day, we don't know what's going on. The contract Liverpool, we don't really have any concrete information. So he's gonna continue as he is. No reason to stop now. And not FPL wise, but in terms of in real life wise, in terms of his football scoring goals, I'm sure he'll want to continue to score goals. And if, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Salah has a hat trick yet. So yeah, he's got braces. He's got a few braces, but no hat trick yet. There you go. So definitely something that he'll probably try to get to. Yeah.
Interesting. No hat-trick. Wow.
Yeah. No hat trick. Serious.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. 2 goals. He's got 2 goals, 3. Well, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. He's got brace 4 times, but no hat trick.
I
So
think
that's one
the
thing.
highest point in a single game week is game week 17, 21 points. He could
Yeah, the 21 pointer.
on. Yeah. Where
If
he
anyone
had
had triple captain that one, that's well done there.
Okay, man, let's focus to the game week 29. I think this is what the people are looking at. And we can see there the game week 29 fixtures on the right side, only 8 fixture. We Everton play West Ham, Ipswich versus Forest. I think the promoted sides that people are looking at in terms of getting the team. Forest against Ipswich. We have Man City versus Brighton. Also on paper, maybe Man City, but I'm not sure about this match. Southampton versus Wolves. People are looking at that. Bournemouth, Brentford could be a high-scoring game. Arsenal, Chelsea could be the most tough match in game week 29. Probably people will try to avoid those team and players. Fulham versus Spurs, another London derby. And then Leicester against Manchester United. RVN is now in charge for Leicester side. I actually put the game week 28 results last weekend on the left side just in case, because people want to think about benchmark in terms of what player to grade in. Definitely the recent form, which is from game week 28. We can see there some of the matches, especially on the Brighton, who are on form. I can see people say about Brighton has been tightened up their defense after that mauling 7-year against Forest, if we can recall that. Forest also at the same time on form, defeating Man City 1-year from Callum Hudson-Odoi. So people think about Forest triple up. So those players could be the one that people should watch out. Liverpool blank this weekend, so people will not look at that. But other than that, Wolves versus Everton, 1-1 draw. Chelsea also not performing. So people are thinking about ditching Palmer. Arsenal only managed 1-1 draw with United. But United game, after that Bruno Fernandes scored, people are looking at that as one of the potential players to come in for this game week 20. So touch a bit on game week 29 fixture and the team to target.
So there are some matches that are just too hard to call. You got Everton, West Ham. They score, but they don't lose. They don't score a lot. West Ham, same with West Ham. If you look at the last game week, they lost 1-0 to Newcastle. Everton drew 1-1 to Wolves. So not much there. And of course, we like the likes of Bowen. We want him, but then Everton have a good defense, so it's pretty hard. Same goes for City, Brighton. Brighton continue to upset the apple cart unnecessarily, and then City, when you thought they do well or recover, they don't. Losing to Forest last week. So again, not hard, not so easy to call. But at the same time, you have Southampton versus Wolves. So this is not Ipswich versus Forest, Leicester versus Manchester United. These are all almost a given that they're not gonna. These sides are not gonna win these matches. It's gonna take a miracle. Southampton versus Wolves might be the closest in that sense, but even without Cunha, I'm just not seeing Southampton getting anything from that point, from that match. But it's going to be close. So what do you do? You go for those relegated, but at the same time, you still have players from, like say, Brentford and Bournemouth. You have your Mbeuemos, your Cliverts. Yeah, so it's not as easy as it looks, but for those who free hit, definitely they'll maybe 3 Forest against Ipswich, 3 Manchester United against Leicester, and maybe 1 or 2 against. I mean, they can do anything when you're free hitting, so they could go all out if that's the case.
Okay, fair. I think you pointed out. I think what people will look at is the players playing the promoted sides, Ipswich, Leicester, and also Southampton. I do believe if you're on free hit, this team could be the one that you should target triple up or double up. But I can see Forest people will look at first on tripling up, whether you go for double defense or double attack. One player that for sure will be in everyone thoughts is Mr. Chris Wood, despite his blanking. He is the focal point for Forest. I can see. Yes, I mean, you only Wood any time during this season or never?
I have never owned Chris Wood. So
Okay.
this might be the one that gets it. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Those one need. I think people will try to avoid Arsenal Chelsea because it's hard to call. Even though maybe Arsenal could have advantage at home, but Chelsea, London derby, another London derby, so it was tough to call. It could easily be one of the other. But City versus Brighton, people are looking at those players in, especially Haaland. What do you think, man? Is Haaland, and because we want to captain someone, and Erling Haaland could be one of the potential best captaincy this week.
It's a potential. The question is, why is he the best captain? So I'm not sure, because it's against Brighton. Brighton are not bottom half side. They clearly can have upset the Apple Cup plenty of times, and they're strong. It's just that it's all about maintaining discipline with Brighton. And City themselves, they aren't exactly high flying at the moment either. They couldn't score a goal against Forest. Although to be fair, Forest defense was freaking awesome. I don't think it's as obvious, but I can see those who can reach for him without breaking up their team too badly. If they have extra transfers to spare, it does feel like it's hard to resist not going for him. I can totally understand that, but for those who can't or have to take hits, then it's just not worth it. I just don't see it. Yeah, it's a case dependent, because I think if you do bring in City, as per what you say, Hafiz, if you do bring in Haaland, then you'll definitely probably want to captain him, because you already take so much effort to bring him in. So you must have your high expectations. You're not bringing him in just for him to be a field player.
Right.
Yeah, but the other option for those who willing to wait is Bruno Fernandes, again, especially for those who either have him or can use the free hit, because that seems to me, against a relegated side and Manchester United, the team might be useless, but Bruno's the one guy who can do some magic and do free kicks, goal penalties. So yeah.
Why not we take a look one of the free hit draft, I think, from Gianni,
Sure.
and then maybe we can talk in terms of if let's say we are free hitting, this could be the team that people are looking at, and potentially triple up some of the players. I can see here that Gianni is thinking of triple up on Man City players. I can see also triple up on the Forest player. I can see some double up on Manchester United player there, and one single player from the Bournemouth, and also Brentford and Wolves. So Ingo Sells, representative from Forest, I think there is no argument, I suppose, into those cells. Guardiola, Man City defense, Dalot potentially attacking return, and also At-Nouri against Southampton. We touch on Southampton potential, and if you're not sure which Wolves asset you should go, maybe At-Nouri, despite not attacking so much under Pereira right now, but he's still one of the cheap enabler defense that you could go. In midfield, Bruno Fernandes is, I can see there. Kluivert, I think Bruno Fernandes, Kluivert should be the two players that should lock in your free hit draft. But other than that, it could be open. Foden, if you like him, if you have Man City player like, is it Savio? So maybe one of the potential Man City if you want to go against Brighton. Mbomo, I'm not sure about Mbomo. I think if let's say I have the other option, but who else you should go? Bowen, but he's playing Everton. No Palmer here, because I think in terms of form, maybe you also agree that maybe people won't have Palmer on your free hit, because if they say you're not free hitting, most probably you will have Palmer. Gibbs-White is an interesting choice at midfield, but if you want to go any Forest, I don't think you can go wrong whether Gibbs-White, Elanga, or Callum Hudson-Odoi. I don't think you can go wrong on that. Up front, I think this is the top two forward you could go, Haaland and Wood. And I can see that captaincy on Haaland. And on bench, Pickford, Ebenezer, Michaelenko, and Kirkers. Those players could easily come in the starting 11 and you could play him. And I think the if let's say you try to play three up front, Haaland, Wood, and Ebenezer is what people are looking at in terms of combo up front. What do you think, man?
Oh, dude, this free hit squad so disrespects Brighton. Is he even aware that Brighton have won 4 games in a row? I think. Hang on, let me check. Including defeating Chelsea, defeating Bournemouth. So it's just like discounting all that. Just City who've only they themselves lost. Yeah, Chelsea, Southampton, fine. Bournemouth, Fulham, they won 4 matches in a row. So now we just expect them to just roll over for City. It just feels a bit too much there. I'm not down with this.
Too much. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And Chelsea, fine. Yeah, Chelsea against Arsenal, and there's no Arsenal here either. So yeah, I guess it could be a boring 1-1. So that one's fine. Yeah, I mean that one not so surprising because that looks like it's bound to happen.
You want to maximize potentially upside from your team, right? So you could go this team who can score goals and keep clean sheet, right?
Yeah, but why go against a team who are on fire at the moment?
Okay.
So that's the argument. But we're just assuming that City are past all the troubles. And Foden, 2 weeks ago he was even benched. He wasn't even starting, and then last week he played and he was ineffective, and City lost. so it's just too much for me. Guardiola, Haaland, fine, but I wouldn't pick up more than 3 people.
Okay.
I would have picked up more than 2. So other than Fernandes, definitely we mentioned that Wood, Kluivert, Gibbs-White is a nice good pick. I like that because you're tripling up on City, on Forest. Although I don't know, I wonder if we did someone like Aina for the defense instead.
Okay.
Ipswich looks like they're losing. Even in goal scoring, it's not happening either. Aït-Nouri is an interesting pick. Obviously, we saw against Southampton. But if you're going to pick Aït-Nouri because you think they will do well against Wolves, Southampton, would you want an attacker? Although, to be fair, none of the Wolves attackers really stand out. Strand Larsen should be now starting, but then he did blank against Everton when he's given the chance. So we don't know who's going to score goals for that. But other than that, yeah, it's fine. Dalot against Leicester, and nice having a second player for that last game. Yeah, so that's pretty good as well. Yeah, that's it. Cells, obviously, nothing need to say there. So most of the squad is good, on Wemo. It's just I take issue with the triple up on City, which I feel doesn't make sense to me.
I just want to share because I saw that Fatih will have video in terms of Big Man Bakar suggesting free hit squad. He actually triple up Bournemouth player in terms of attackers. He has a Kluivert, he has Tavernier / Semenyo. Tavernier because most likely people won't go there, and he scored last week against Spurs. And then Ebenezer, who is still low on. Let me check. Less than 10% if I'm right. Ebenezer, where is he? Oh. Yes. Oh, you'll be surprised. He's only owned by 2% manager right now.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I guess, but it makes sense lah because he hasn't been fit, so he's not there. So yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Would you triple up? Not there?
Brentford aren't pushovers either. That's the problem. Yeah. Okay. So I probably wouldn't. Yeah, 2 maybe.
Okay. All right. And I can see some on the defense. Some still have Gabriel on the team because potentially maybe Arsenal can keep clean sheet against Chelsea, who still unsettled with Palmer. So-called Maresca mentioned about his still play despite on fever. So I'm not sure whether he will be fully recovered this week. And people going for double up defense in terms of attacking Manchester United player, Mazraoui and Dalot. And you can see against Arsenal, they have some chances. So if you want to aggressive, maybe that could be an option against Leicester anyway. Yeah, those are sound option. Bowen we already touched. Other than that, if you want to go up front, Haaland, Wood, and Beto, or I think the Spurs player people are not mentioning, or any Fulham. What do you think, man? Fulham versus Spurs. Should we think of any of those players?
That's one of those London derbies that's hard to call. So I don't know, like Spurs, they got players coming back, but right now we don't know what's going to happen, because I think tomorrow night is Spurs will play AZ Alkmaar. Yeah, so we'll have to resist, because if we see Van der Vens playing there, then chances are he's not going to play for the weekend. So and Spurs will defense is much better with him around. So then a case might be made to try your luck with Raul. But then it looks like as though there's appears to be a bit of rotation risk right now with Raul. So again, there's a lot of risk there. I'm not sure it's worth it at the moment. Yeah, to go. It looks like Munoz is sharing a bit more X minutes with Raul.
Okay, I understand. If let's say I'm also uncertain whether Jimenez, but I think Jimenez could continue to start, but only play 70 minutes, and Muniz come in, and then he could actually score a goal that matters for Fulham.
It's true. He could.
Yeah. But unless you want to go any Spurs, I said, I think you would definitely go for Son first, who will be on penalty kick. I think he scored last week against Bournemouth. A penalty kick, right? Yeah. So I think maybe that can be really differential, and I believe Son will be really low owned. But I think no surprise, the most two board player for this week, is Mr. Bruno Fernandes, and I think is Clivert. Bruno Fernandes and Mr. Chris Wood, the top two players, because I think clearly without Isaac playing this week, everyone is still uncertain who should be up front, and Mr. Consistent Wood could be the one that people, and that's why you mentioned he could actually finally be in your team, right?
And obviously with Cunha keep ruling himself out of this whole dilemma, it doesn't help either. So yeah, it's a deal, you have to figure it out. And I'm not sure, but there's a lot of possible combinations. Okay, so we really could see a lot of differentials or changes, and to the squads. We can really see some differences between teams this week. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens.
Yeah. I think another combination people do is they go double defense for Forest, so Sels and Aina, and in midfield you go someone else, because I think midfield you can have other option, or you could go for Jose Sa in goal, and then Aina as on your defense. So you just swap those Forest and Wolves player, which is
good.
Yeah.
A lot of options. Right? Yeah. So and then when you take into account the players that because you have space, especially if you want to get rid, TA looks like he's out, so that will free up funds. You can pretty much have your pick of your defenders who you want to bring in. And of course, especially when people are free hitting, as we saw with this example, is that we're avoiding that Arsenal-Chelsea match because we don't know. Yeah, and I can't call it myself. I'm not sure. I would say Arsenal have the upper hand, but it's not clear cut at all. So let's see.
I think definitely Arsenal should be less pressure into the Champions League tonight because they're already 7-1 up. They could easily play the second period and still qualify for the next round. So they could really focus on the weekend
Champions League.
But Chelsea do also have a European Conference match against Copenhagen, so it's not a straightforward thing. So
True.
Okay, man. Let's touch on the top categories for this week. I think no surprise in terms of Game Week 29 points prediction from Fantasy Football Hub. Mr. Erling Haaland is predicted to score 7.1. He is the most top projected scorer this weekend. The second place is Palmer at 5.5. I'm not sure whether I agree on that. In terms of basically Palmer form right now. Bruno Fernandes could easily come in at second place, I feel, 5.4. Mr. Foden, I'm not too sure I like that, but he's predicted to score 5.4, same like Bruno Fernandes. And then Mr. Chris Wood, slightly lower at 5.3, not much different with the top four players after Erling Haaland. Chris Wood, someone that I read out that he could, the one that people will go if let's say you can't afford Mr. Erling Haaland. So what do you think, man?
I'm not sure why Cole Palmer is predicted second highest point scorer given how poor his form has been. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, I think it's pretty realistic. Haaland and Fernandes. Foden, I don't know. Again, don't like that. Wood, yeah, Wood. No issues with Wood. We all love Wood. Yeah, except I still don't have him. But yeah, other than that, so the question with Haaland is that we expect him to be the highest point scorer, but for free hitters, fine. But if you're not, how do you get to him? Is it worth it? So that's something you need to decide.
Now, one name is not in here, man. Mr. Clivert from Bournemouth. Would you consider him one of the top captaincy for this week?
Not really, because he's not coming into this in great form. He's getting points, but it's not spectacular. So this, of course, he's playing at home, which is always good. But one thing to note in terms of the pattern is the fact that Clivert suddenly, posted all this, or rather, the Bournemouth midfield started doing suddenly, posting multiple goals after Evan Nilsson got injured. Before Evan Nilsson got injured, it was quite rare, except for that hat trick that he scored, of hat trick of penalties. Yeah, so it's just compared to players like Haaland and Fernandes, who we know can have a fantastic, explosive week. It's possible, but we haven't seen that week. The consistency for Clivert isn't enough there. Yeah, of course he scored 2 hat tricks, 1 hat trick and penalties, 1 hat trick of open play, but I'm not seeing it yet. So we'll have to see.
I think if let's say the goal that he scored, which is ruled offside, if that counts, so maybe I would think top will be different against Spurs last week. So if he did that 1 goal, 1 assist, so maybe the narrative will be different. But I think there could be one, because he's on penalty. He's in midfield and he has 1 point. He can actually get 1 extra point when he scored goal against compared to the forwards. Same goes for Bruno Fernandes, but I'm not sure whether I can trust the Manchester United asset. But playing Leicester anyway. But it's away, so anything can happen in that game. Especially we will see how Manchester United perform this Europa League. If let's say some bad outcomes from that, it could affect this weekend game. So we shall see. Okay, man. Let's come to our team. But before that, take a look at the fixture ticker, because this is what will happen for the next few game weeks in the next 6. We already know about the blank game week in 29. Then after that will be international break before the FA Cup fixture. And then after that, baru the game week 30. So there's plenty of action will happen before we reach game week 30. So if they say in terms of fixture ticker, Wolves on top right now because they play Southampton and then West Ham in 30, and then you can think of, say you still uncertain where you're going to wildcard. If you think I want to wildcard later than 31, then switch game at 31. Just like if you're holding those assets, say you bring in Strand Larson, you could just play him in Southampton, West Ham, and then switch. And you should not worry because he's priced like 5 million plus. Another one that people are looking at is Bournemouth match because they play home this week, just nice entry point against Brentford, and then Ipswich in 30. But the complication will be is because they're playing Man City FA Cup quarter final prior to this Ipswich game. So probably there's some rotation can be because I've been hearing that they will play 3 games in 7 days, something like that. FA Cup midweek in game 30 and then 31, which is against West Ham. Man City, I think if let's say why you bringing Man City player is because not for the 21-9 only, it's because that game week 30, which is Leicester, and potentially he could be the one. Say you bring in Haaland, the one to captain that week. Say if you don't want to captain Salah against Everton, but the match is still fine to me, despite that is a Merseyside derby game. So yes, I think that those the 3 teams, at least the top ticker. Then coming that Forest, Ipswich, and Manchester United in 30. Other than that, maybe people. So what do you think, man, in terms of when we talk about our team, potentially these are the team that you target?
Yeah, I think it's something that we've talked about in the previous stream where how important it is to figure out your strategy in terms of where you're going to play your chips and the timing, and with the FA Cup matches going on between 29 and 30, and there's not 30th is a midweek match, followed by 31st. So it's not a lot of time after the conclusion of FA Cup to the 30th game week 30. So if you decide that if you're going to wildcard at 31 or 32 or 31 with the intention of maybe bench boosting in 32, but of course you're still waiting on the what happens after the FA Cup, the rescheduled matches. You need to figure out in terms of your transfers based on when you're going to wildcard. Yeah, because let's say, for example, if you're wildcarding in 32, so Wolves look great. Southampton, West Ham, Ipswich, then you don't have to worry about it. So I think plenty of us still have a lot of chips and we need to decide. So for me, I'm looking at the Wolves, it looks good. Bournemouth look good. City look good. And Forest look good as well, Aston Villa there, they're going to be distracted as well by the Champions League as well. Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens there. Then Ipswich, Manchester United, and of course Everton. And let's not forget the two clubs who will be double gaming in 32. Those are confirmed. Newcastle against United and Crystal Palace. Both of those matches are at home. So, if you are not going to wildcard before that, then maybe this week you might want to consider not selling Isaac and keeping Isaac on your bench so that you can continue.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Because on the other side, Crystal Palace, Mateta should be back by then, by the time that double game week is, and even before that, apparently. Yeah, so again, most people have already sold him, but you probably want to plan so that you have the transfers to save. But at the same time, one more thing that you also need to check out is who you're going to be captaining for this stretch of matches. Make sure you have your captain. Yeah, so much talk about not going for the Salah route, I think Liverpool versus Everton is a perfectly acceptable captaincy there, but of course when you're looking at City playing Leicester at home, that's why it doesn't look so enticing. Yeah. So
if let's say a few weeks back, people talk about Mamouche, but after that benching last week, nobody's talking about him anymore. So, and we might not also go there, right? Or recommend Mamouche in the team. But if you want to try, you could, right?
That's the thing, with City, because you just don't know. And the thing is, They lost last week. Marmoush didn't start. And Foden started. Will he shake it up to try to find that winning formula again? Because it makes sense for him to want to try that, and which is why I disagreed with Foden there in that free hit lineup, because he might not even start because there's no guarantee. There's no, he hasn't shown that he deserves to start every game at the moment. It's not happening for him. So yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to our team, after we talk about these fixture tickers, so at least we have in our mind when we going to make our move, because we are still uncertain. But if you ask me, I most probably will wildcard somewhere there, 31, 30. But that is the first thinking. But you will definitely want to know what will happen at 33, 34 in terms of the fixture.
Yes.
So that is what I'm thinking. Most probably that could be what also you're thinking, right? In terms of wildcard.
Yeah. Yep. I'm still waiting, playing the waiting game. I'm quite patient this season. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Fair. Okay, this is my team. As you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4 players if you can include Cunha, who will be suspended and not going to play in Gameweek 29. So my team, Sales in goal. I have no option. I will play him. Kirkus against Brentford at home. Gabriel, Chelsea. Robinson, Spurs. I might roll the dice again with Robinson despite back-to-back 0-pointer. And finally, Michaelenko could get his chance to play against West Ham. Everton could keep a clean sheet, a clean sheet, a 6-pointer from Michaelenko. I think I'll take that. Palmer, Mbomo, Kluivert, and Rogers, who I will think the replacement. I said not playing, and Wood. So far, he will be my captain because I have 3 free transfer and 1.1 million. But when I want to bring in Haaland, using the transfer, I don't think I can bring in Haaland and bring. I will need to bring like a filler coming in for those two, which I don't think I'm going to do that. So.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking right now is to keep Isaac and Salah and bringing that into the Gameweek 30, because Salah will play Everton in Gameweek 30 and Newcastle will play at home against Brentford. So it's just nice to have those coming back into my team in Gameweek 30 because I'm not sure when I'm going to wildcard anyway. So I will have those 2 players who I trust. And I will take out Cunha for certain. And then Mr. Rogers, who at price at 5 million. So I have in the bank around, let me take out those players. I have, Cunha already dropped to 6.9 million now. So I have 13.3 million for those 2 players. So what I would do, and looking at the free hit draft, maybe that could be a best way to think about the players. Morgan Gibbs-White could come into my team and I will triple up for Forest player. I have Sals, Gibbs-White, and Wood. And who will partner Wood up front? I could triple up in Botner player, Kirkus, Kluivert, and Evan Nielsen at home. Potentially those are the players coming in. Another option that I could do is bring in Bruno Fernandes for Rogers. But I miss out 0.1 million to bring in Beto up front. So I don't think I can do that or fill in any strike license. Definitely I couldn't afford him. So I think that could be my move. Triple up Botman player and triple up Forest player. And bring them on to Gameweek 30, of which we will see. We already see that fixture ticker mean. Botman will play Ipswich in Gameweek 30. So I'm fine with triple up. And then Chris Wood and Forest team will play Manchester United at home in Gameweek 30, which is still fine. So what do you think?
Yeah, the Bournemouth triple up looks like the really viable because it's a bit long term, prepares you for the following week as well. I'm glad you can't afford that Beto thing because I don't think it's just that Everton gets West Ham. West Ham defense clearly getting better. Let's not forget they also stopped Arsenal, and yeah, it was just 1-1 against Everton. Who did they play? Can't remember. But
Everton,
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yes, correct. Yeah, so Everton played Wolves the last game week, and yeah, so I'm not really big thing on the Beto. I think that Beto thing has dried up a bit in terms of his goal scoring run. Mbeumo, of course, you'd still have him, even though theoretically his matchups fixture ticker isn't that great after. Yeah, but yeah, you'd want to keep him. So yeah, I'd say go for that Bournemouth triple up. At Bournemouth plus Forest triple up. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, I like that. It does mean we're totally ignoring the Brighton City game lah, because it's a hard one to call. I'm not surprised. So yeah.
At one point, I'm thinking like maybe Mamush could be an option, but after that benching, I'm not sure whether I'm going to bring a player that not going to play 90 minutes. Oh man, that'll be
It's
frustrating.
hard. That's why we find it figure out, because we don't know, especially after they lost the last game, what are they going to do? How is Pep going to shake it up? We stopped making those jokes about Pep roulette that we did in previous seasons, and the reason for that was because last time we make fun of it because we were always trying to figure out how to pick the players. Now it's not so much of a problem because they're not as great as they were. But the roulette appears to still be going on. Yeah, it's just we don't mention it now. So I'm not fond of it. I don't like it. So yeah,
All right.
I'm in favor of you not bringing in Haaland.
Okay. We shall see the mood after completing all this European competition and the present. So
Yep.
let's go to your team, mate. I can see your team also have some dilemma in terms of fielding 11 players. So what's your thought? You have 2 free transfer, right? And 0.9 million in the bank.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. I'm really just definitely going one transfer for Chris Wood. So the other transfer, which is that we Cunha, but now I'm still considering it, but it does look like I may sell TAA. Yeah,
Okay.
and the reason for that is because we know that he looks like he could be injured, and it might be a long one. And I think that if I sell him, it will free up quite a bit of funds, and he'll be able to do well. And I may save my funds if I say I want to pick up Haaland later, not this week. But for game week 30, because I will still need to take a hit if I want to get to Haaland. But at least by selling TAA, it does free up a bit of funds to get there. So that is most likely my option at the moment. But the Chris Wood move is almost confirmed locked in already lah.
Okay. Right. So Cunha for Wood, and then
TAA for someone. It could be Kirkes, for example. Otherwise,
how about Forest defense? You also looking
oh,
at
Aina, that's right. It could be for Aina. I might just go triple up on Forest and bring in Aina. So that's the other option that I'm looking at. If I really don't think Ipswich have a chance, I mean, yeah. So might as well go for that clean sheet and possible attacking option. Yeah. So Aina it is.
So basically, you will feel. Is it 5-3-2? Your
What do you mean?
formation.
It'll be a 4-4-2.
4-4-2. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, no. No. It's a sorry. It's a 5-3-2.
Yes, 5-3-2. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a rare formation this week. Yeah. Okay. The other option I have is if I not worried about that freeing up funds then, and the other thing I'm thinking about is if I feel that Wolves will steamroll Southampton, then I want to bring in Strand Larsen. That's the other possibility.
Fair. So you can see you will keep holding Isaac, Salah, and Soboslai to Gameweek 30, which is nice because they have some good fixture coming up anyway. So João Pedro could be your man for this week, man. Again.
That's just that's just how the cookie rolls, and let's see how that goes. But I'm just relieved. I'm just happy that he's coming, he's arriving and starting to score goals again. We've missed that part, so yeah.
And who will be your captain this week? I don't think Palmer, right?
It would most likely be Wood, and
Okay, all right.
I did toy with that Clivert that we talked about, but just let's say maybe injury news.
Maybe now you're not going to say that, but come to Friday or Saturday.
Saturday. Yep, that's right. It could just. I mean, because I've already got if I've got a triple up, if let's say if I triple on Wood on Forest, do I also want a captain as well? Sounds a bit overkill. So let's see.
So I can imagine this week, man, what will happen? The Highland captainers against the Wood captainers, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That seems to be the most viable option. Yeah, I'll ignore the rest that was mentioned just now.
Right, good stuff. I mean, we're coming into the stream, and do remember the Gameweek 29 deadline will be on Saturday, 15 March, and around 9:30 p.m. Malaysian time. So pretty much we have at least time on Saturday, and that's about it. So we still have time for Gameweek 29 deadline. So it's not going to be a Friday deadline.
The only thing is that right now, I think moving forward, I'm not sure whether I can still do a Saturday morning deadline stream anymore. I now have another commitment with my kids. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And
we shall see how it goes. All right. So thank you guys for joining the stream. Do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel, and do support us. And all the best for you guys this weekend on the blank Gameweek 29. All right. Take care, guys. See you. Bye.
Bye.